turning. You gotta keep turning. You can't just stand and focus on one spot. Only one guess left. Might be good to wait. No, who is it? Will. Ferry! Hold on, don't open your eyes up. Everyone needs to be hidden, and they're looking for you. Your eye better be sticking out. You have to see them. You're a wolf. You're hunting. Will you grab that?
Where are the matches?
I have some thick stuff.
I have some really thick pieces that spread out like this and sticks the toilet paper thing on it so it's a chimney so it smokes.
What would you guys?
We can start making it look like a teacher. Sandy, can we burn this?
You have to put it under.
It's all done.
Have you done it before? I'm doing it after and then you can do it.
Okay. Downwards to keep them big. Keep them big.
Yes.
Getting them a little tall.
Okay, don't smother it because those are wet.
Oh yeah!
It's there. Once it gets
Alright, so the first group that I heard, that was 12 minutes. That was not bad. That was this group. Very good job.
Trying to blow that out.
The second group, it took you 14 minutes, and the last one was 15 minutes.
So the technique is so important with this. A lot of people will sit here and try to go like this, and it's wobbling, and it just doesn't work that way. So paying attention to the technique is what is going to give you either coal in a fire or not. That's already smoking down there. I wouldn't expect this your first time.
So he's using almost the whole length of the string. It's important to use the bow to assist you.
Is your arm tired?
Yeah. You get used to it. You do. And so you see how that ash is all really dark and he's got that thick smoke. Now he's probably got a coal there. If it smokes on its own, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, see how it's still
See how
smoking?
it's still smoking without him rubbing the spindle back and forth?
Oh yeah.
So that's
That's the fire.
that's the coal that's going to light in the tinder bundle.
Now I'm going to take this dust.
All that
put
dust
it on
helps.
top.
See how gently he moves? There's nothing rushed at this point, because if you rush, that's when disaster happens. You do the whole thing over again. So everyone back up a step, please.
I'm going to kind of pinch that in there pretty tight, like a taco.
Go.
Yeah.
Is it delicious?
Hot dog.
It's cold
See that dark
dust and
smoke
string.
already?
Probably not that good.
Oh gosh.
And don't hesitate to blow pretty hard, because it's that big presence of oxygen. You'll see a flame come up in just a second. There you go.
It's on fire.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Show you again. And I'll go nice and slow so you guys can see it.
Hey, Katie. Would you mind helping out in the right spot? And you do your weight now, right?
Oh, no, we have snow. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh. We got smoke.
You got smoke? Pinch it. Okay, pinch it right there. Let's stand up.
See, look, they got the coal.
Hold it.
Why don't you try this? You'll try this, okay?
Blow right there. Both of you.
And I'll do your part, okay?
Blow right on that red piece.
Except for him right now.
Okay, move these fingers.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Fire!
We got fire!
Okay,
All right, everybody come back here and grab a bandana. Really fast, do it! All the moths step into the circle.
There should be tacos and burritos. Oh no, I'm dead already.
Hey, moths, you should probably be quiet. You don't want to get eaten by the bats.
Can we go?
Yeah, you don't even have to say anything.
Squeeze.
You're making so much
Say it again. Oh my God, squeeze. No. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get hit. Squeeze. People.
Look, all of those are spiders.
Wow. See, and that's why we love...
would they be freaked out by now?
Yeah, please stay over here.
That's so cool.
Poison ivy over here. Stay over here.
That's sweet.
Isn't
Happy
that awesome?
spider, poor Japanese beetles.
Oh, fireboard.
Yeah. Well, now I got 9. I forgot to put down.
Maybe another
Was it the bow?
10 minutes, but they also need someone needs to use the bathroom.
Hopomoko eventually really wanted other people to believe him, and he saw the spirit helpers weren't going to be the ones who believed him. So he said, I'm going to come down to Earth. I'm going to find someone, and I'm going to help them see the way that I see things. And so he comes down, he makes himself in the shape of a man, and he finds a man named G.B., who is working on his own, was fixing his fish net, getting ready to do some fishing that day. And Hopomoko approaches him, and he sits down, he starts to tell him about all of the wrong that he thinks the Creator has done. And he starts telling GB about, oh, look how fragile everything is. Everything is very liable to fall apart. You should be very worried. Things will not be okay. Well, GB started to believe him. He started to listen and think, oh, maybe he's right. Maybe creation is not perfect. Maybe the Creator made lots of mistakes. He goes, but that doesn't seem to fit. No one's ever said that before. But if it is not true that the Creator didn't make mistakes, then why would he have made someone like this Hopomoko who's telling me that everything is wrong, that things can fall apart? Maybe things aren't perfect. So he looks at Hopomoko and he says, well, what do I do? What do I do to prepare myself before everything falls apart? So he tells GP, he says, if I were you, I would surround myself with as much magic as I possibly could. I would learn everything I could of power to try to protect myself. And I would surround myself with it so that whenever this world crumbles, and it will crumble, you won't have to be worried about it. So GP went out and he gathered all kinds of sorcerers and magicians to him whenever he could. He gathered spells and all kinds of power items, and he drank potions, and he did all of this stuff to make himself more powerful because he was so afraid, and he wanted to know everything he could to spare him from this creation, which must have had something wrong with it. Now, Cheapy's neighbors started to notice that he was neglecting his canoe. He wasn't taking care of his gardens. His house was falling completely to disarray. Whenever someone came up and tried to ask him what he was doing, what was wrong, he'd just say, "Oh, I do not have time to talk right now. This is a very dangerous time." And then he would keep working and mumbling about how things were going to fall apart, how wrong, how bad everything was. People started paying attention to him. And they said, "Oh, I believe all of this is very superstitious on the part of GP. I don't think that this is right." And they said, "But just in case, maybe we should arm ourselves with some of these things that GP is doing." And so they started to try to practice magic and learn these things. But then they all were so worried all of the time that they weren't doing enough, that they weren't going to be prepared, that creation was wrong, that things were bad. So they started going to Mausha, often, who created this earth for healing. And he'd noticed that everyone's just getting sick all the time and coming up to them. And so he says, "Oh, I need to talk to these people." So he gathers all of the people together and says, "We need a big circle. I'm going to do a large healing ceremony for you." And he gathered them all up and he said, "All right, you need to understand something. This creation is not wrong. What Creator made is not wrong. And all of you are getting so worried, so upset by listening to the words as passed down from Hobomoko through Chipi that you are forgetting your original instructions. You are forgetting the natural laws about things. And this worry is making you sick. You're believing these things that aren't true. So listen carefully, because there's a way to come back to understand the natural laws. There's a way to come back and understand your original instructions. First, you need to observe nature. It's a science. Just sit, look at things, wonder how they happen, learn about it. Observe everything you possibly can. Absorb it. Try to understand it. Talk with people. That's the best way to remember your original instructions, is to come back to that sense of wonder through observing everything. The second one is to meditate. To find the Creator that's within yourself, because the Creator is inside every single one of you in some form. And you will find Him and how He exists in you if you take the time to study. And the third way is by studying the ancient ways. Go to the elders, ask for their stories, learn songs, be together, practice these ways. And if you do these three things, observe the world around you, meditate within yourself, learn about the ancient ways, you will remember again the original instructions, the ancient laws. He said, now, no matter what, there will be people like Hopomoko. There will be people like Chipi who believes him. And that's because the Creator made room for all of the different kinds of ideas that are in this world. And there is nothing wrong with it, because you are perfect. You have ways that you do that are wrong, but nothing that was made about you is wrong. And so the people walked away. And they remembered what it meant to look for those original instructions. They remembered that they needed to slow down and observe, to be willing to find wonder, to meditate within themselves to find the good things, and to be able to listen to the ancient ways and sing songs and tell stories. But most of all, they learned not to pay attention to bad medicine, for it does absolutely nothing for you except to make you sick. Hope